Alright, so we're back here, right where we left off. Now, before I leave this room, I do need to talk with Nozomi and Vanitas.
When you defeated the Legion Horde, you earned some spirits as a reward. You can use them to upgrade your power's effects, or for items to use in your otherworld treks.
I really don't like that.
Speak to me should you ever seek to spend your spirits.
Yes, so it's listed here. Basically, Vanitas is your shop, basically. So you can either create or dismantle. Creating, basically, you can use spirit points to create items such as healing or stat removers, or you can dismantle items and, more importantly, vessels. You will collect buckets of vessels. Again, vessels are the armor pieces for your legions. You will get loads of them throughout your playthrough. Whatever you're not using, convert it, dissolve it, I guess, instantly into more spirit. It gets you extra levels. It allows you to build items. Always be dismantling. Don't save vessels you're not using.
The chaos never ends, does it? Oh, right. I haven't introduced myself yet. My name is Nozomi Hinata. I'm a third year here at the Academy. Nice to properly meet you. Thank you for your help in the other world. You're the reason we were able to make it back safely.
Okay. So, now with that, we should be able to exit the building.
Hey, if you're going to travel through the mist and fight the Pact Bearers, would you mind if I came along? I can't fight like you do, but I might be able to help in some other way.
Believe me, you will.
I just don't want you to carry this burden all on your own. Thank you. The mist is spreading upward through the second floor of the building. Why don't we head to the infirmary first? We should explain things to Chio and Dr. Kakeru.
Cool. Alright. So, of course, at the basics. Yeah, obviously, you have all the information. There's fast traveling, which you probably won't be doing because the first chapter is exclusively for this building. So as you can see here, we can talk to different people and it adds them to the profile. Again, you want to try to collect as many of these as possible. So if you see someone in the hallway, talk to them. Yep, right here. So basically, those who have a strong self will leave. The crystals, alter egos, it will vary depending on the student. You can use the profiles to try to find it, but honestly, you just run around the school and you'll find them. And yes, you'll get permanent stat bonuses as you collect these crystals. So if you meet the minimum requirement to get it, you'll basically get like +3 or +4 to one of your stats. And this is actually incredibly important because even small +1, +2, +3 increases can actually make a world of difference. And as it says here, yeah, if you collect a bunch of them before other people come in, then yeah, they'll get them upon joining. So you always want to be going through and talking to everyone you see here. And some of it's nice little flavor text, which is good. And these guys actually are just random dudes. You'll know if it's a proper student because in your mini map you actually see a little circle there. That circle indicates an actual student you can talk to. And as you unlock more at the school, you'll get more. Now, this guy here, he'll basically give up. He's one of the 4 students in the game that provide the psychological quizzes, and you can actually farm these quizzes. So this will just come up. They'll say, "Hey, you want to take a quiz?" And then they'll give you a question like this one. You just choose what you feel like you want to do. Snake caught up in the road. What you do? Yeah, let's look for another route. And then right there and then, you're immediately give us a boost to the ego right there, and a little bit of the result, like the psychological analytics of it. Yes, so here we go. Exclusive protagonists giving answers for various assessments about the name. So based on the themes, what's a psychology test? The command scenes, of course, most ego, the ego restrictions on what vessels can equip. Those are the class notes, alter egos. Yeah. So the main focus of the ego is you get the alter egos, which give you raw stats for all of your party members, and it says here like there are unlock restrictions. This doesn't really come up until Act 2, maybe like midway through Act 2. So ego farming is not really something you're ever going to need to do, and by the time it really becomes important or matterful for you, you're going to have enough ego that you won't be bothered. I've never been limited by my ego aside from just the collection of the crystals. But they're not required. You can always get them later.
Ah, you made it.
One thing I do like about this game is it's pretty much 90% voiceovered. So that is good. I just wish that these English voiceover guys were a little bit different.
I was just talking things over with these two.
Not to bash, but they don't have the same impact as their Japanese counterparts.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault for answering that call.
Chio, I've decided I'm going to help your brother out. I want to do whatever I can.
Thanks, Nozomi. I'll feel better knowing you're with him.
Of course. And, maybe there's something you can do too, Chio. I'm sure the newspaper club's ace reporter would be a great help in gathering intel.
Oh. I never...
Don't forget about your pal, the school doctor. You ever feel sick or hurt?
Thank you, everyone. I'll support you to the... I'm counting on all of you to work as a team.
A team? It's almost like we're in a club then. Maybe we should come up with a name.
Sure, why not? Sounds fun.
Well, since Nozomi's part of the group, how about the True Student Council?
What?
That way, you'll get to be president again.
Perfect. Means I can keep calling her Prez. Makes things easier for me.
Yep, definitely same in the Japanese version.
Dr. Kakeru, would you please shut your mouth?
A fitting name if you ask me.
Et tu, Miss Sora?
My brother can be the vice president then.
Yep.
It's not like there are any other candidates.
Vice Prez, huh? Easy enough for me. You've got my vote.
You just don't want to bother remembering anyone's names.
It's settled then. You are hereby instated as President and Vice President of the TSC. You have my approval as Dean.
Seriously?
But they don't use the expression TSC.
The current council was taken over by Mr. Hitotsubashi and his entourage. Many students wish you were still in charge. And it isn't just Miss Aikawa and me. The other students believe in you as well, Miss Hinata.
Very well. I accept the position. Let's put our best foot forward, Vice President.
Glad to see you're taking to it. Now then, I have other matters to attend to, so I'll be on my way.
For those of you who are really waiting for the actual gameplay to begin, trust me, it's coming soon. Just the beginning of this game has a lot of sort of easing your way into it.
Okay then. Seeing as you two are already here, how's about I go ahead and get you checked up? All right. Not much I can do about your amnesia. Anyway, you're welcome to stop by any time. You got any health issues?
All right. So yeah, Kakeru basically is your medic. So you don't in this game basically any HP that is taken out of the battle is automatically restart at the end of the battle.
I'm beat.
But what Kakeru
Maybe I'll
does
skip out on
is he actually fixes up your mad skill. So we'll see the mat in
You're
action
good to go.
in just a little
Here's
bit.
some medicine.
But basically, what?
Don't push yourself too hard.
Yep, thanks. Basically, what will happen is if your MAD is above 0%, visiting him immediately drops it down to 0%, refreshing everyone's MAD in your party, and he'll always make sure that you have, I think, at least 5. Yeah, 5 mental stabilizers. So if you go under 5, they will always refresh your stock so you're at 5. This is incredibly important, and I'll get into it a little bit more when we get into some of our battles. Alright. So yeah, so far so good, which is nice. A few minor, I guess, changes from the usual, but I think we've fit all of our requirements in here that we can actually begin. Maybe not yet, okay. So I have to find like the backup way, right? Now, it might be kind of, it doesn't really sound too good to hear, I guess, in English, but
It's time. The student council meeting is about to start.
Off to the student council room.
yeah, I guess it's a pretty good match for it.
So long as you follow my lead, your security is assured.
Is that Karama's voice?
We are living in unprecedented times. I speak not only of the barrier around the academy, nor the madness-inducing mist. Homicidal maniacs, epidemics, spontaneous combustion. Further outlandish incidents plague the other buildings. I know you are all concerned about this inscrutable, hopeless situation, but worry not. So long as you remain here, so long you shall all be safe. This I swear on my life. I ask for your continued support. Heed my words. Let us band together. We will make it out alive.
Hooray for President Hito Tsubashi! Hito Tsubashi! Hito Tsubashi!
They sure are fired up in there. Kurama's planning on locking this building down. True, it might be safer in here, but it won't solve anything. It's just ignoring the actual problem. I'm not so sure it's the right call to make. Anyway, what?
I know it seems kind of cringy, but student council positions in Japanese schools actually are pretty important. They take them very seriously because it sort of is a precursor for their future. So it seems cringe, but there's a little bit of truth to it, but more specifically, we'll find out.
Vice President of
with,
the True Student Council.
Hitsumibashi.
Or perhaps nice to meet you would be more appropriate. Sora tells me you've lost your memories. I am Yugo Jingu, the steward of this academy. I oversee the students' daily needs here at the academy. If you encounter any trouble whatsoever, in any case, may fortune smile upon you in battle.
The Jingus have watched over this academy for decades. Though if you ask me, the fact that Miss Sora still looks so young is almost demonic in itself. What's her secret?
Yes, that's kind of a cool point. This game, if you already noticed it, this game has a lot of references for kings and monarchs. So even the school's name, right? The school is known as Shin Mikado. Mikado is actually an old school term for the Japanese emperor who's descended from godhood. So this game is full of references along those lines. And you can even tell, like, with this sort of religious sort of style going on here, all of the faculty tend to wear these, like, coats of sorts. So there's even the idea of like kind of kingship and godship and lordship. So there's a lot of references like that in the game, which is kind of fun to see. But now we can finally actually get into the game.
right. Shall we get started?
Yes, please. Okay, so this is when it talks about the mist, which I think they call it fog in Japanese, but mist is, I guess, is a good enough translation, and the mag gauge. So basically, the mag gauge is your psychology gauge, and in essence, if it reaches 100 when we're in the overworld like this, because as we sit here in the mist world, it will slowly and steadily increase. See, it won't increase while you're in a menu though, so that is sort of a saving grace you have. If this reaches 100 in the overworld, it's game over, and I'm going to put air quotes on that one. Basically what happens is you get booted out of wherever you are and instantly put back into the infirmary with Kakeru. So there's no really repercussions for getting 100%. There's no like game overs or anything like that. If it happens during a battle, however, your character will transform, which is pretty cool, but you will be unable to control the character, and they will just indiscriminately attack anyone around them. This can happen with your legions, this can happen with the main character, and this can happen with your companions or your allies or whatever they refer to it here. And if it's 100% and you don't win the battle within, I think, 3 turns? 2 turns or 3 turns, your character basically blows up and they die. If this happens in battle, it's an instant loss if the main character does this in battle, but at the end of every battle, if you lose, you always have the option to retry or to quit. If you retry, you just start the battle again. If you quit, you just get punted back to the infirmary with no really repercussions. So there's really no game over in this game, so to speak. There's always something that kind of keeps the narrative flowing, which I think sort of has a larger lore aspect to it. So don't worry too much about, game overs and whatnot.
Vanitas? I thought you weren't supposed to appear around other students.
It's fine where mist is to be had. The students here have all gone mad. I'll watch from here.
Yep. So this is another point. Every time you enter a floor, Vanitas will always be on the floor that you're currently on to sell you items and dismantle and things like that. Now, this whole section of the game basically is 100% like a Resident Evil like exploration. So you'll come across notes like this. Whenever you're exploring, my advice is search every single room. Keep your distance from some of the characters here, because sometimes they will kind of burst out and yell, and that will increase your madness gauge. But if you see any red objects, check them. They are basically notes, and they are required to pass the puzzles through here. So in this first puzzle here, there's not much to really care about. It's just collecting the necessary information, because we'll see sort of the puzzle down the line. Alright.
See that person talking to the cleaning supply locker over there?
Yep.
Hey, Miyu. What'd you get on the English test? It's not fair if I'm the only one who failed again.
She's what we call unsettled. The mist messes with their heads. We need to keep going.
Yes. So sometimes the unsettled, I guess, is what they refer to them as. The unsettled can boost your madness gauge up if you're not careful, but many cases unsettled are essentially the mechanic you have to bypass. So we're going to see that in just a moment.
Take your seat. It's almost time for class.
It's so creepy. That is one thing about this game is, obviously I'm narrating, so I'm making this a bit more lighthearted, but yeah, if you put like headphones, you really crank up the volume, this game gets freaky at times. Really freaky. I've been unsettled.
What would you ever do without me?
Just the way that they run it.
Who are you? What do you want?
Okay, so basically I explored everything before I got here, right? And this is important. The third option here, this only appeared because I read all of the notes back there, and in one of the notes that I kind of glossed over, basically commented about Miyu and Reina's relationship. So if I wasn't here, if I didn't look at any of those notes, I just ran right to this person, my only 2 options would be get out of the way or isn't that Miyu Tachibana. selecting both of these, which I'll do here.
Not a chance. I'm not leaving her. I made a promise. And if you get in my way, I'll make you regret it.
She'll basically
Let's just head
prevent me.
back for now. We have no idea what she's capable of right now. I have to wonder what this promise of hers is, though.
Exactly. So because I read those notes earlier,
Huh?
I have
Who are
option
you?
3.
Wait, huh? I'm not holding her. When did that happen? And what's with this locker? Miu? Where are you, Miu?
Yeah. So this is a sort of example
I was
of
supposed to protect you. I'm sorry.
I guess that means we can keep going. It's just like Reina said.
yeah, so we don't know what's in there, and probably best we don't find out. So that's basically how a lot of the puzzles work. This was, of course, a really easy one, but some of the later ones really require a lot more mental gymnastics. Yep. And there we go.
What is that? Even the ringtone is creeping me out.
A portal to the other world. A trace. I fear this abuse is becoming mundane. I can't even muster the words to complain.
I don't blame you for doing that if he were talking in rhymes to me in English all the time. The VO for the Japanese is a lot better. It's like an older guy. He sounds like kind of jokester, older feeling. It's really good.
What's wrong, dear Nozomi? Demon got your tongue?
Why?
Why?
Why do you keep doing that? Do you always have to pop out of nowhere? If you jump scare me one more time, I'm gonna lose it! The mist... the other world... I've been hanging on by a thread this entire time! And now my cover's totally blown!
Calm down, okay? I'll apologize then. I won't just show up out of nowhere again. After this, my appearances will all be announced, all right? Apology accepted? Well, VP, come keep your
Just...
Huh?
You heard me. Pretend you never saw anything.
Including my promise.
Everything. I've never been good with anything scary. People would call me childish and pathetic. I've been trying to hide that part of me from you. The mist was scary enough with just the two of us. But when Vanitas popped out of nowhere, I just...
I'm astonished you actually asked to attend.
It's not like I want to be here. But I can't let the vice president put himself in danger all on his own. I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
Deranged is as deranged does. We've wandered off topic with that little spiel. As I said, that call connects to an ideal. Get close enough and you'll pick it up too. Just make sure you're fully prepared when you do. And don't forget to keep those eyes dry.
Would you shut up already?
Alright, so this is sort of the end goal. So you have basically one last kind of memo that sort of concludes whatever the trick is here. So like Reina, seems like Miyu potentially had an unfortunate end, but we shall find out. But anyway, basically this is your goal here. So you'll always be looking for the set of cell phones that lead to the number. You'll always get that call response. You need to press that and it will automatically dial the number here. From my understanding, you have to basically hit it whenever you want. Sometimes it I don't know, it's hard to say. Some people claim that if you actually hit a certain time, it changes like the difficulty or like adjusts certain points, but from my own tests, nothing changes. You just press the button as soon as you can and you're set.
So that's an ideal? It's beautiful. In a creepy kind of way. I feel like I'm getting cursed just looking at it. Well, the sooner we shatter it, the sooner we can go back.
Not that easy.
It's technically the ideal of desire. Add reason and will for a trio entire. If voiding the pact is your goal, they're the key. But it won't be so simple to shatter all three. A monarch would not let their plans go astray. They've fiends of their own to keep you at bay. Monarchs, like humans, have much at stake. In the case their ideals shatter and break.
What do you mean?
Demons subsist off the human ego. That is the way they develop, and ideals give humans the power they need, and demons the ego upon which they feed.
If only I could fight too.
You're already able to. For what do you protest?
Huh?
Imagigears are nothing more than souls made manifest. The will to do so is all that you need, though it isn't so easy as that, I'll concede. Terminal recall. Searching 8 consciousnesses. Analyzing, adapting, linking, decompressing Imagigear. End process.
Ta-da!
Ahem. All you really needed was my assistance. I'll save the explanations for a more obliging ear. I doubt you'd even grasp the weight of what I'm doing here.
This is my power. A manifestation of my will.
Let's charm it.
Thanks. But could you watch where you're staring, please?
Now enough with all this senseless prattle. Amuse me with your bloodlust in battle.
Alright, there we go. So now we have our third party member, essentially. Alright. Yeah, so we've already talked about this, basically. Yeah, you can actually do that as well, right? You can relocate. But you'll probably never need to do that. Now, of course, we need unit placements up here. So let's get strats in, so we have all 3 set. As you can see, our clear reward is one of the items there, the clear helm. Let's begin. Obviously, we want to get as high as rank as possible to try to get as much spirit as we can. So the main, there's a few different like points for that. The main focus is basically to get as fast as you possibly can. Yeah, so this is kind of going into all the jazz here that I sort of talked about before. Okay, so long story short, if our madness gauge reaches 100%, we go into a trigger mode and we blow up. If our should stay off a little bit.
Foolish.
If our awakening cage goes to max, then we basically.
Me too.
Once more.
Ooh, so close.
Come on, payback.
Die. Curse you.
Here I go.
If I remember correctly, I think. Yeah. So I'm sort of pulling out a lower reference here. Accelerating Slash is one of the best abilities in the game because you can actually increase your stats. So if you notice there, the healing factor on her.
Salvation! Here I go.
I've got you.
As you see, there's a little like AGI ability. So by using that skill, I'm able to get the main character to have an increase of their agility stat, and you can boost every stat up to, I think, 4.
Away with you.
Here I go.
Though, as you can see, it does cost some of my life to do. So if we look here at Nozomi, if I use Healing Prayer, I can heal an ally, which is cool, but it was going to cost me 6 HP to do. She has no authority moves I can use at the moment, so it doesn't really mean much.
It's over.
Foolish.
Now, for me,
You've been bested.
kill her. Sometimes you get free, oh,
Grows empty.
and there we go. So, I wasn't paying too much careful, main character got killed, obviously, bam, restart. And that's part of the difficulty with this game, is that if you sort of rush into things too much, or you're not playing your strategy good enough, you can definitely take a big hit to the face and get beat.
Get ready.
Now, obviously, you have the ability to resonate. It's interesting they went for the term resonate because in Japanese they use the term empathy, which is interesting. So there's definitely more of that psychological aspect that they have with the Japanese version. Basically, you can share skills, as it says here, you share skills, you share elements, and that also includes the awakening and the, what's it called, sorry. That includes the awakening slash
Away with you.
madness gauges.
Here I
So
go.
one must be very careful when using that because it is very, very possible
Foolish.
to accidentally smack something hard. Okay, so
Weakling.
use her skill.
Got you.
Bam. Alright. Got a round from that. That's good.
Curse you.
Get ready.
Now, obviously I need to make progress on this one here.
Away with you.
So the more I
Here
can
I go.
increase that, the better. In the meantime, we can use Resolve.
I won't let anyone
As
die.
you can see, her awakening gauge gets boosted, which is really, really good.
Take this.
I'm with you. Get ready. Checkmate.
Here I go.
Alright. Let's use her healing prayer. Yeah, on show.
I owe you.
I need only obey.
And we can use her authority on herself
Salvation.
to heal.
Curse you.
Ouch. Alright.
Away with you.
Continue to do
Here I
that.
go. There.
I'm with you.
Foolish.
So you can see, every time we use an art skill, I'm going to lose HP. Every time we use an authority skill, it increases my mad. Obviously, I don't want to have maximum mad because at this stage of the game, you will definitely lose and you will definitely die.
It's looking rough.
That was close.
Checkmate.
We win.
We made it, Nozomi.
Good job. You were amazing.
Unfortunately, definitely not a good round. Yeah. Yeah. So obviously you win spirit based upon the amount of your rank plus the amount of enemies you kill, plus you're able to get your hands on stuff. So as we can see here, this helmet actually increases my psi and my luck, which increases basically magic and crit, and it gives me the skill healing factor. So whoever equips this gets a free healing factor spell. This one here does the same. It adds to my crit, basically my crit and my magic, and it actually gives me a follow-up poison skill, which means that if the person who has this equipped attacks as a counter attack or a second attack, they have a chance of inflicting poison. So, pretty cool stuff. Obviously, the ego has grown. And with that success, we shatter the first crystal. Or the first ideal, I should say.
Thank God my power came through there. Now you won't have to fight alone anymore. Even if that was terrifying beyond belief.
Ideals, VP, are a fragile matter. The slightest touch will cause it to shatter.
Humans are foolish. They see walking the road to ruin all the while. Only misery awaits at the end. It never changes. No matter how many times I tell them or how many times they're shown. Humans truly are foolish. They are witless, puerile, and rash. But if my hands can cover their eyes, if my words can drown out their ears, then at the very least, no one would be hurt. I could create a world free of destruction.
So clearly these ideals are kind of building us up to a boss fight, and we can see the resemblance of who that character is.
Where's that voice coming from? We're not getting haunted, are we?
Don't get yourself all tied up in knots. The ideal relayed you the Pact Bearer's thoughts.
Oh, I see. That's a relief. Not that those thoughts were particularly pleasant either. In any case, we should keep up the pace and shatter the other ideals. And, that means heading back sooner rather than later. Please?
Now, one cool thing that we're about to see now is once an ideal gets shattered, we basically unlock that floor from Mist. So for now, we can freely explore the second floor, so that will make new students sort of spawn in there, new items can become available. So it sort of is, you have that sense of progress, which I really appreciate with these sort of games. You don't just see it, you experience it.
Hey, hope you don't mind me stopping by.
Oh, welcome back! You too, Nozomi. Thanks for looking out for my brother. I feel a lot better knowing you're there for him.
Always happy to help. I'm really not all that special, though. Your brother's the amazing one here.
Here I come.
Huh? Did...
Behold, little girl! The one you should thank duly is none other than yours truly.
Vanitas? See, this is what happens when you pop out of nowhere. Stop scaring Chio.
Geh? You're the one who's scaring me here. I said I would warn you before I appear.
Oh, my goodness.
Here we go.
He's adorable.
They definitely did a good job picking a mascot for this game, that's for sure.
Wow. He's so soft and fluffy. It's like snuggling up with a cloud.
Fun fact, you can actually buy a plush of him from the Animate store here in Japan.
No fair. You never told me Vanitas was this cutesy, wootsy, adorable.
Hey now, you're suffocating the poor thing.
A being like me has no need for breath. Lend me your aid from your sister of death.
Okay, fine. I'll let the limericks go just to have this response.
You flagitious fiend!
The little guy sure gets riled up easily, huh? Oh, right. You should know that the mist on the second floor is all gone. Guessing that's your doing. We were able to rescue all the unsettled who were trapped up there, so thanks for that. Alrighty. Guess it's about time I got back to the infirmary. Just stop on by if you're ever feeling under the weather.
Yep. So this is sort of a typical flow.
What do you want to do when you graduate, Nozomi?
But there's actually kind of one more step involved with it after you.
Calling the other world strike you with fear? If not, you can do so whenever I'm near. You know that you can travel there by answering the phone. If such a number should pop up at all, why not give the other world a call? You could, of course, dial things randomly, but if it leads to your end...
Okay, what he just said there, don't put in random numbers. This is actually a legit piece of advice from the game. If you just punch in random numbers, you have a 99% chance of being ended up at a level 80 board. It's really hard. With that said, though, all of the necessary sort of numbers you'll need, and I'll get into this a little bit more when we go into the next section here, do have a static phone number. So when it comes down to things such as like the best kind of battles or levels for grinding, all those numbers are static. So once you input that number into your phone and that becomes locked, it becomes a part of your phone's memory, and you can just dial it whenever you want. But yes, do not do something unfortunate and start dialing random numbers hoping to get something lucky, because you will more than likely end up in a battle that you can't win.
Oh, right. Huh? But I'm the same as always. It started just before you and Nozomi came. It just kept glaring at us. I wonder what's going on.
Alright, so yeah. Something that we want to do right now as well is, yep, vessels. So, vessels are super important. Basically, these are the main stat boost. So, as you can see here, the best one we have is this one. Gives us the most stats, so we should use it. We don't have anything here, and I think we got, yep, one set of graves. So you always want to be checking what we have, and because we're not using the other ones, we're going to dismantle them right now. And then bam, bam. As you notice here, if you have the E, that stands for equipped, obviously, so you won't be able to dismantle that, or you shouldn't dismantle that. Now let's head back in here. Whoops. For our unlock list. We need more levels, so let's just get this one for some quick seal resistance. And this is actually a ranged attack, which is super helpful, so we definitely want that one. For Nozomi, let's get her maybe up to level 5. I don't think I can pull it off. Alright, let's give her a critical pike here. And I don't think there's anything strats can learn right now. Okay, cool. So it gives us a little bit more of a fighting chance. And let's just unlock whatever's here. So as you can see, we did some psych tests, so free there. And that's it. Cool. Of course, as you can see, we did that test earlier. So the Tensei Matsumisha test. So yeah, so this is the reference, the Tensei Matsumisha test, question number 14. And it basically tells you what your answers mean. So sort of a fun little pop psych thing for you. And of course, whenever we have a new song unlocked, it does show up right here for you, which is cool. As well as the profiles, which is also nice. So good stuff, good stuff. Also, as Vanitas said, you can only use the phone when you're near Vanitas. So, or if you're near Vanitas. So, if you want to maybe redo the Ideal Pride number 1 battle we just did, you would have to call it from here, and that's one way you can farm. As for saving, you can save anywhere where there's not mist. So, as long as you're not dealing with mist, you're set.
The 3rd floor should be covered in mist too. Let's search there next.
Yes. And I don't know if anyone new's on lockdown here or not. Yeah, so yeah, new person there. So that's the other thing too, is whenever you finish a new floor, you want to maybe sometimes check old floors, and obviously check the new floors you unlock to try to get for new student profiles, because again, it just all moves for that direction.
I've been looking for you.
Yeah, the more you can collect with this game, the better time you'll have.
Yusuke? What is it?
I have a favor to ask. You started hanging around the student council. She's completely changed ever since. All of a sudden, she started talking about Kurama like he's some sort of god.
Yeah, Kurama.
Yu Nishioka. She's Yusuke's girlfriend. I've known them both since I was in elementary school.
She wants to break up with me. She said she doesn't have it in her to deal with being in a relationship right now. But we were doing totally fine before she joined Kurama's fan club. Don't you think that there's something fishy?
What? You getting dumped?
No! I'm talking about Kurama and his groupies! You and the others weren't so goddamn obsessed with the student council before! Since when did anyone start listening to Kurama anyway? He's such a nag. Even the teachers don't want to deal with him. It's been like this ever since all this messed up shit started happening to the academy. There's gotta be a reason why. Were they drugged? Or maybe they're all hypnotized. You'll help me look into Kurama, right, Nozomi? You needs our help. Same goes for everyone else. Come on! I'm begging you!
I understand why you're so... Maybe we should wait and see how things turn out for now?
We don't have time to just stick around and do nothing! Forget it, you coward. I was stupid for thinking you'd get off the fence for once. I mean, what else should I expect from the kind of person who leave her best friend for dead? If you're not gonna do something, I am. Somebody has to.
This is a reoccurring theme, so get used to this sort of thing in Act 1.
Wait! Listen to me! I've had a hunch about who the Pact Bearer is ever since our talk with the Dean. If it turns out that hunch is right, well, it just means we'll have to be that much more careful.
I'm sure everyone can guess who it is.
I don't want us to get all wrapped up in any more danger than we're already in. Let's get a move on, Vice President. We have to shatter the remaining ideals.
Alright, so we can start exploring the second floor, which is free. We don't have to worry about anything making us mad or anything along those lines. Plus we can probably get some more profiles perhaps. Usually when you clear out a room, yeah, obviously people will come back in and you can talk with them to get their information, which is cool, so important. Here is an example of a alter ego, and as you can see, we need Wrath 70 or higher to get the stats, so can't do much about it now. Unfortunately, there's nothing on the minimap that keeps a record of it, so you'll just have to sort of remember. This is why I said earlier, just kind of running around the school when you have a high enough ego is probably the best bet. Though I will give a warning without spoiling anything. There is one ego that takes a little bit more, I guess, prowess to find. And here's our boy here. So Tensei is back. Let's take another psych test. What did you find? Maybe we found a letter. Get more pride. Cool. Okay, so the trick is also here, and this will probably be put in a video later on that I'll make closer to the game's release, but you can actually there are 4 students in total that have the psych tests, and all 4 provide, I think, 12 or 13 perhaps, different exams. So basically, each person has at least 12 to 13 unique exams. So in order to get them, you can actually kind of force this to respawn. So if I were to go downstairs and do a battle and then come right back to Tensei, he would give me the next quiz. So if you are really, really eager into getting the quizzes done early and trying to build up your ego as fast as you can actually, once you find one of these guys, you can basically just sort of farm all the quizzes for them just by doing a battle and then coming back. So every time you go into the other world and you return, a new quiz will be made available for you. So if you want to actually go along those lines, you can. For me, I just don't really feel like it's worth it unless, I don't know, for some reason you desperately feel like you can get enough stats. You can get enough from those ego quizzes to get those extra stats. Ooh, that's not cool. Yeah, the eyes do mean quite a lot in this game, so keep an eye out for people's eyes. Alright. Okay, so we can do a quick save here. Alright. And, yeah. Let's see if we can pump a little more here. Let's hop up and find out. Alright.
The depth?
The farthest reaches, the other world's end, full of beings against whom you can't contend. I'd advise against picking up any odd calls, unless you enjoy your blood strewn on the walls. You'll want to mind the unsettled as well. The madness of the depths infects your surroundings if a call connects. They'd act more unhinged than they all.
So, if we pick up, we'll be in danger. If we don't, we'll still be in danger.
Precisely, my perspicacious president.
That's a mouthful.
Well, that's not fair at all. Isn't there a way around that?
The depths of the other world are hardly near. They're not quite connected directly to here, though a singularity should be on the border, connecting two sides to keep them in order. Should you destroy it without delay, the other world's influence goes away. I'll give you a number to the singularity. Deal with it first if you're lacking temerity.
Okay, so yeah, this is the death call. So basically, yes. So this is sort of where the calls come in at. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, if your madness gains reaches 100%, it's a quote-unquote game over. You booted back to the infirmary. This is the true gameplay loop here. So every time you enter a floor from here on out, the first thing that you will get is a phone number, which would be right here, the Precipice of Pride. These are the death call battles. Basically, if you kind of let it go, eventually you're going to get a phone call which puts you in a battle with a ridiculously powerful group of like level 80s or 90s. If you try to answer the phone, you're going to be stuck and you're going to lose. If you don't answer the phone, basically the NPCs will make their way towards you in an attempt to kind of cut you off. So the first thing you must do every single time is get the number from Vanitas, because he'll always give you the number on a new floor, and the first thing you do is you have to go in, call the number, and start the battle. So here we are. Everyone's already out, let's jump in. Now, these battles are a bit more unique. These are not your farming battles.
Let's go,
so,
Nozomi.
I mean, I think early on you could probably use it as a farming system, but you don't want to use these for your farming.
Here I go.
But right over there, that is your target. So these battles sometimes have enemies that are a bit stronger than you, but the main key is to take out the crystal as fast as you possibly can. So I mentioned earlier that throwing knife, Singularity, or the crystal cores there, they have one life, they die in a single shot, and doing so instantly ends the level.
We made it, Nozomi.
Good job! You were amazing!
Every time that you come in from after this point, they will replace the crystal or the Singularity core with a like some kind of hazard, usually like a life restoring or like some kind of attacking hazard. In principle, these are meant to be cleared super quickly and you just get a quick item from it. Sometimes you might be able to take out one of the other legions around or the demons around to get some spirit, but in general, don't waste your time farming on them. Just stop the death calls as soon as you get up and then make your way in and take care of what you need to do. Don't use death calls as a means of farming. It's just not effective. Okay, so here is where things get a little bit more. So in this case here, we need to be a little careful. Go collect some items, and we have a safe there. So clearly something's in that safe that we need, but we need the code for it. So we've gone from getting information and talking to... Oh, okay. There it is. Okay, so, sorry. Sometimes in the game, you will pick up... There we are. Sometimes in the game, you will actually pick up documents. And these documents are memos. Fertile ground is what they refer to it as. Okay, that's the English translation for it. Basically, if you dial this phone number into the phone, it will take you into a special zone. Fertile ground, anything labeled fertile ground, is the farming zone. Why is this the farming zone? Well, as I mentioned before, you get a certain victory per battle, right? Sometimes it could be an item, sometimes it could be an armor. Fertile ground battles always give you extra spirit. So they are the ideal places to do farming because you could just maximize your spirit. So always use fertile ground.
Period's lesson is going into overtime.
Don't you know?
For farming. You'll have multiple levels of you're able to get over time. But the important thing to note is just
I can't possibly memorize it all before the quiz.
Yep, see, it's an extra notes in there, which is cool.
Empty.
But yeah, always use fertile ground for your farming. Don't use anything else. Alright, so... and yeah, as you go through, you'll be able to collect... Oh! Back away. Okay. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll sort of explode, and that will boost your mat up really, really high. It's not cool.
My locker combination? I think it was the last 4 digits of my student ID, but I don't know for sure.
So,
Who even cares about that right now? Let me out!
Once again, yeah, I talked with some people, right? And I read all the notes, so I got that extra question. So that we need to figure out what's going on. So if we looked at those memos from before, we know that that locker has some form of code, right? The code is based on this girl Miki that we learned from the memos. Now, that's why we get the prompt to talk to Miki. Miki, how did you figure out your code? I don't know, it's my student ID. So, we need to go into the profiles now, pull up Miki's information. Whoops, here it is. And we see here that her class number is 020201 01040. So, if it's the last 4 digits of her number, there we go. And then right there we have the 3rd year student badge, which is necessary for us.
Damn it. Hey, you. You're a 3rd year?
To get into the room.
What?
So, sorry, it kind of glossed through that a bit more, but essentially what we did there is we went through and we looked at the different memos. The memos told us that the person who owns the locker is named Miki.
Hey, that means...
Yeah, just to kind of maximize that. So we found those memos. The memos basically said, hey, Miki has the locker combination. We found Miki. We asked her why did she choose what she chose for her locker combination. She told us it's her student ID number. We get her profile updated at that exact moment, and then bam.
Take note. These 3 physics will never betray you. Logic makes the world.
And then we can see right there on the table that our call is right here, so we can do it right now. Let's do it. Now do note that sometimes in later levels these actually become hidden, so you actually gonna have to go around the room a little bit and try to figure out where you get the signal at. But in the beginning of the game in Acts 1 and 2, they're pretty much right there for you. Once again, another ideal, so another fight.
I'm fine. I was lost in thought. Sorry. I'd better focus on the here and now, huh? I'm supposed to be helping you. Not to mention the rest of the academy.
Yep, so let's get to it. Now, at this point, we're still pretty good since the battle level is still pretty low, so we should be fine with what we have. I'm not too concerned.
Let's go, Nozomi.
I'll be your strength.
Alright.
Get ready.
So, we gotta jump ahead here.
You're open.
If I stand here, I can take advantage of the,
I'll leave it to you.
Leave it to me.
take advantage of the, what's it called? The healing section.
Away with you.
But we don't have to worry about that too much. Now, what I've been doing, as you noticed there, is using the defer. Defer is going to be your key in terms of mastering pretty much everything. Basically, you need to, in order to get through levels quickly, defer is going to be what you use. Defer will allow you to take extra turns, it'll move people in positions, it'll allow you to make extra bonuses for your boost or anything. So it's extremely important that you learn how to utilize your deter system like easily.
I'll back you up. Here I go.
So for example here,
Vice President.
I'm gonna pop it on the main character, swing behind here, use my accelerating slash, and be able to get a big chain, which will let me kill everyone and get some extra stats.
Must be nice.
Here I go.
Alright.
Here I go.
So, how's everyone's awakening?
Foolish.
Hers is kind of low. I'm gonna try to show this off real quick, so maybe I can use some resolve a bit and let them kind of come to me. Use my authority to just heal up the main character.
Get ready.
And if I can just kind of maybe, it's a bit dangerous. No, it's all right.
You're open.
Bam.
Don't bother. Counterattack. Here I go. Checkmate.
Haha.
Here I go. I want to help you.
Yeah, it takes a little bit for this to work, but I think what we can do is we can force it by using defer. So maybe I can accelerate the process of it for you. Okay, so
I want to help you.
my awakening is at 82%, so I'm getting really close. So what happens when an awakening occurs? Well, let's take a look.
I won't let anyone die.
Alright, so she gets this really cool glowiness. Basically, her stats become enhanced, and she has no issues about getting any form of loss with her mag gauge. Now, this is super helpful if you have people who have really high mad and you want to balance everything out. This is also the key way that you're able to do sort of the Madness Awakening, which allows you access to super powerful moves. But in order to have access to those moves, we need to unlock them first on our spirit board. So I don't know if I'll be able to unlock any through this playthrough, because again, it's something that's sort of a mid-game, like early-ish mid-game section, so I don't know if we'll be able to really check it. But as you see here, the more deferrals you do, the more awakenings you have. It's more points, which means getting a better score. So if possible, always be deferring, try to awaken when you can, and just be really careful. Because sometimes you can defer too much, and you'll get a madness, and then it's game over.
The soul is an imaginary entity. The body creates it through nothing more than trivial chemical reactions. People are fools. Their eyes, ears, even their very souls are inferior. These are the flaws in the machine we call the human body. Consequently, one must acquire the controls to the machine, the authority to govern their bodies for them. Only then will the foolish be guided away from hopelessness and despair.
Right. And I think it's a pretty good idea on who our boss is going to be by now.
The authority to govern their bodies. No wonder. There's only one more ideal left.
Yep.
Once we take out the Pact Bearers, we can return to our normal lives. That way everyone gets to be happy. You're right. I guess that'd be too much to ask for. The Academy fell into total chaos after the anomaly started. I did everything I could, but I wasn't strong enough. Things only got worse and worse. A long time ago, there was someone I really looked up to. She was fair, strong, kind. She always did the right thing. I wanted to be like her. But I only ended up disappointing everyone. I couldn't live up to her example. I have my fair share of weaknesses. I'm a coward, as you already know. I keep thinking it was a mistake to make me the president of the True Student Council. I'm scared I won't be able to live up to my station. That I'll only end up hurting people instead. Confidence is never easy, is it?
Not at all. But with that, we actually gain back the third floor, so that's a whole new area that we can explore, which is fantastic. With more people to unlock, and again, since we were in there and did some battles, we were able to get another psychology quiz, which is pretty cool. So definitely some benefits we can reap.
Kurama?
I've heard the rumors. The True Student Council, is it? You truly are playing the Dean for a fool. If I didn't know better, I'd think you were implying the existing Student Council is a sham. We are the tried and true, Hinata. We guide the people and protect them. However, I am willing to pardon your transgressions. After all, you aren't exactly known for making the wisest decisions. Besides, everyone obeys me sooner or later. But let us set that aside for now. It appears that every time you return from the mist, another of my ideals is destroyed.
Dun dun dun! There you go. That's going to be our boss. Just wait.
I highly doubt this to be mere happenstance.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Come now. Enough beating around the bush. We will speak plainly, or not at all. I am a pact bearer. He who commands the authority of pride. If you're concerned about any eavesdroppers, fret not. Even if they do, they won't be able to process it. I've used my authority to put them in a trance. They haven't the free will to remember a thing.
That's horrible!
Foolish words from a foolish girl. You think you can defeat all the Pact Bearers and restore the Academy to normal? Let me put this in no uncertain terms. It's impossible. You cannot best a Pact Bearer. Even if you were to defeat me, it would only increase the chaos and casualties alike. You will oppose me no longer. Instead...
What did you do to him?
Unlike you, I am no fool. I can already tell how As such, I made some improvements to his perception of the world.
Did you brainwash him?
Now you're...
You monster.
Vice President, you have to snap out of it!
Me? A monster? Hardly. Under my control, you dullards will finally achieve inner clarity. You should be thanking me, really.
You've gone mad.
Don't be ridiculous. It's the world that has gone mad. But worry not. You too shall understand eventually. For I shall remake you in my image. Now, Vice President, seize her.
I guess no.
What? You're still lucid? Why isn't it working? What are you? That was an authority. It can't be. You're a pact bearer?
Are you okay, Vice President?
I hate to resort to such brutish means. But if I hold no authority over him, then I've no choice but to eliminate you directly. Everyone! Seize them! I'll re-educate the foolishness right out of you.
Don't worry, I'll protect you.
Such touching bravado. For now. Fool. Your inanity will come to light soon enough.
The only fool I see is you!
Yusuke?
You're the bad guys here. You took her from me. You wouldn't let her go.
Blasted stalker! Where did you come from?
Stop! Let go, damn it! Get your hands off me!
Yusuke, no!
We'll meet again, Hinata. You're all fools. Every last one of you. Nevertheless, I refuse to let the lunatics run the asylum. Not anymore. I will protect everyone, no matter what.
Wait!
And the plot thickens. All right. So I think that was a good chunk of time there.
Out of
So
nowhere, but what's your type, Nozomi? Like today?
That really is out of nowhere.
Gosh. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in for the second video here. Running a bit on the longer side that I wanted to, so I think this is a good cutoff point. If you enjoyed what you see, feel free to hop back for part 3 coming out shortly. And yeah, like, subscribe to the channel. Sending a love that way is always appreciated. I think we probably have maybe one more video that we're going to pull through. Yeah, if you like it, tune in soon. So take care. Cheers!